Hello, for all of you who couldn't make it to my Zoom call. I just wanted to make a quick recording, a recap of everything that I went through. So, what we're going to start with is the actual newsletter, and we'll go from there. Thank you for subscribing, thank you for being here, and let's dive into it. So, first, with the AI staging, we're going to start on, like I mentioned, the newsletter itself for the AI staging. So you may have received it. It looks like this. And so the idea is that we're going to be using Nano Banana, which is a AI platform for imaging. And what we're going to do right now is choose our base image first. So my base image is going to be this one. This is a photo of a property where there is a bedroom. It's a listing photo, something that you probably have already paid for, but as you can see, the bedding is bland. It matches the walls. It would not stand out on social media. So there are two ways that we're going to do this. So first off, we're going to step into step 2. And so step 2 has 2 branches. The second branch comes from you watching this video. I do not outline it in the newsletter. So we're going to look for a reference image, and I use Pinterest. So using Pinterest as a image board for mood and for reference, it has a great search title references. So that's why I suggest Pinterest. And so what you're going to be looking for is you're going to be looking for a photo of something that you like, a bedding that you would prefer if you had like the top stager, whatever you wanted. So what I'm gonna do is look up my bedding. And so you could do cozy bedding ideas and look around and see what photos you like. And you know the area that you're selling in. So if you kind of know that this is a doctor who might buy this property, or you kind of know that it's a single bachelor man or a startup family, that might affect what photo that you choose, and that's your industry knowledge. And that can also be how you search the title. So that takes us into the second branch of how you can find this. So let's go into ChatGPT really quick, and I'm going to tell it to act as Pinterest. And what we're going to do is going to outline the search titles for the most popular beddings for the age range, and then what age would be buying your property. Say that you have 30-year-olds in your city most, or if you're looking at a retirement area where it's probably like 60 to 40 minimum. So you can put in the age range. So if I was to do 60 to 70 years old, I'm going to get a result. And if I was to copy that and say that I'm going to do 20 to 30 instead, 20 to 30, I will get different results. And so what I'm going to do is copy and paste one of the matching search titles. So here's a quick summary: bamboo sheets, rest ever cooling sheets, hotel collection. This is for the 60 to 70. These are the ones that are really popular with them. And so natural breathing materials, easy of handling. And then on the other side, we're looking at the 20 and 30s. So this is viral TikTok bedding, best affordable, soft duvet, small space, most durable. So I'm going to look for a search title. I'm going to say create a search title for Pinterest for age 60 to 70. Boom, bing. And then I'm gonna copy and paste the one that I think is good. Comfortable, calm bedroom ideas, cozy bedding styles loved by women 60 plus. Perfect. And then I'm gonna go into here, and then I'm going to put paste, and then I'm going to see results. Great, look at that cozy blanket. That looks very warm for somebody who might have cold hands. And so what you're looking at is just a refined search model, but you don't have to be that exact if you already kind of know the vibe that you want because you look at beddings and pictures of houses all day as your profession, then that's you, you know, and that's your expertise. So what I'm gonna do now is go back into the AI staging. So I got my reference image, and for me, my reference image is going to be this one. Perfecto. And so then the step 3 is writing the prompt. And so I already have a prompt written for you. Perfect. You don't even have to think. And what we're doing right now is just the bedding. Then step 4, we're gonna go into Nana Banana, and then the link is up here at the top. I'm gonna go into Higgsfield because that's the account that I have. And what I did, I already did it, but I'll show you how to do it down here. So I'm gonna upload the photos and I'm gonna delete my old prompt. I go into my photos, I have the regular one. It does take a second for photos to upload and you can only do one at a time. And then if you're looking at my prompt, there was the prompt in this step, but we're gonna go all the way down to the example because it is a better prompt. And that's the benefit that you know because you hopped on this video / Zoom. So now I'm gonna hop back into my Higgsfield. The picture is still loading and I'm gonna paste my prompt. And it tells it to keep the image exactly the same: lighting, composition, furniture, background, and subject. So the key outline is that when I'm looking at this photo and I'm looking at my reference photo, I really want to make sure that I have the same outlet underneath the window. I want to make sure that this vent isn't affected, that the window shapes, the walls. If I was a buyer and I was looking and then I thought that I was going to have something that was actually a part of the house, the furniture, the bedding is not a part of the house. It is something that is staged there, but if anything affects the actual house, then we're going to run into issues with our marketing, and that's what we're trying to avoid, and that is what the prompt has outlined so that we can avoid that. And so we have the first image attached, and now I'm going to attach my reference image second. That's kind of important. So first you do the real, and then you do the reference that you got off Pinterest or wherever you got it. Say that you had like a really beautiful staged bedding on like an old property that you just loved and you wanted again, but you didn't want to pay the stager. Use that picture. So I am going to turn on unlimited. This is kind of a hack. If you have Higgsfield, there are unlimited options sometimes, and Higgsfield is kind of like an arcade. You have to use your credit points to generate things. So while we're in queue, we gotta wait for the paint to dry. What we're looking at right now is a image of a regular bedding and transforming it into nicer bedding, more expensive looking bedding. But that doesn't mean more expensive bedding is gonna work better on social media. No. Do you know what might like pop on social media? Something wild, something crazy, something like random. Do you know what's really popular right now? I don't know if you've heard of this. Maybe if you have kids, you would. Labubu's. Have you heard of a Labubu? So Labubu's are just these little monster toys. And then I'm gonna go back on Pinterest and I'm gonna say Labubu bedding, because that would really pop the eye. And oh my gosh, look, there are Labubu beddings, and that's just really crazy. And so you can choose the one that you like the best. I chose this one. And so what we're doing is we're gonna hop back into our Higgsfield. Look, my paint dried. So this is my new photo. This is the photo that just generated with my reference image picture, just a reference to what it looked like before. Here it was before, and so we had the outlet underneath the wall in the original image. We had the side piece, we had this vent, we had the windows. So let's look. The color of the carpet has not changed. The outlet on the wall is still there. We have the windows and the paneling is the same color. Perfect. And also, just to note, if that was something in particular, see these blinds. The blinds are still in our photo, and that's important because you get blinds with the property when you buy it. And so that is something important to make sure that it stays the same. And bada bing, bada boom, I got an updated bed cover. And so I'm just gonna hop into my example that I already made, and I made a Labubu one. And so I did the same exact prompt, I just changed the reference image. And all of a sudden I have a more eye-catching photo that I'm capitalizing on the trend that Labubus are, and it's on social media, very popular. And do you know how much Labubus cost? Labubus cost a lot of money. And so if you see a kid with a Labubu, you probably want their parent to be your client. So pulling in just this silly Labubu bedding is actually refining your marketing to find your target audience, because you know what they're currently buying. So all of this industry knowledge of you talking to your neighbor and knowing what Sally wants to buy because Jane's kid has it, that's information that you need to prompt for, that you can search on Pinterest for, and you can design your interiors to look like, so that you can attract the right fish to your sea. So that was me just diving into how to stage with Nana Banana. I would love to maybe see y'all, to do anything that you would like. In the next Zoom call, I'll have 2 every month, and they're in the middle of the month. So not the first or the last week, it's just in the middle weeks. And next week we'll have a different topic. Hope to see you there. This was AI Staging with Gibbs Media. Bye.